And Lord knows that I'm not a musician. We didn't have any band in the country school I went to. And my mother would say, Jim, get away from that radio. You know nothing about making music. Oh, tough crowd. So, it's a little known fact that up in McHenry and Johnsburg, all those German farmers, all those dairy farmers, at the end of the day, after a hard day of milking cows twice and chopping corn and baling hay, they would all get together at one of the farmers' cow barns and bring their milking stools, and they would gather in a circle, and they would pull out their African drums, and they would just kick it. Thank you. That was a weird bunch of them. I was in Arizona some years ago at South Mountain College, and I was a storyteller and author in residence. We did work a week with the students, and about the middle of the week, a student said, Mr. May, she called me Mr. May. Now, when I'm around home, like McHenry, Johnsburg, I make them call me Jim May. The kids, want to know where I call you Jim May, because in that area of the county, you spit and you hit about 300 other Mr. Mays. So Jim May is better for business. She said, Mr. May, I'm from Haiti, and the stories we're doing this week, the folk tales and some of the ghost stories, kind of remind me of living in Haiti. I grew up in a village with no electricity, and after supper, we would go around to the neighbors sometimes, or sometimes they come to our backyard, build a fire, and we'd tell stories. Tell stories after supper, and this reminds me of those times. It was sort of like American television, back in Haiti. We would tell stories around the fire. Well, I remember this story that our colleague, the late great Diane Wolkstein, had collected in Haiti and put it in a book called The Magic Orange Tree. The story is called Owl. Owl thought he was ugly. And if anybody would see his round yellow eyes and his flat face and his hooked nose and his ersatz ears, they'd make fun of him. They would not like him. No one would love him. So Owl, he only came out at night. And when it came time for Owl to get a job, he always worked a night owl shift, midnight till dawn. But things got better for Owl. He fell in love with a girl. That's right. This was a long time ago, back in the days when animals could talk, turkeys chewed tobacco, and girls dated feathered creatures. He would fly in the dark to her mother's house. He would perch on the railing on her back porch, and she would sit across from him on a bench. And he would talk all night, tell stories. They were both good listeners, so the stories kept on coming all night long. Owl, I'm just like you, she said. I've always loved the night. Even when I was a little girl, sometimes I couldn't sleep. I'd go walking in the woods. Once I got a little scared. I heard something out there in the woods. It sounded like... Yeah, I said, oh, that was Grandpa. He always liked to scare little kids. And he would tell her stories. Yeah, about Grandpa's eyesight was getting kind of bad in his old age, once he thought he was going for a squirrel, it turned out to be a skunk. Skunk went potty all over him. Grandpa smelled so bad, Grandma would not let him back in the nest for days. This went on, night after night. Finally, the girl's mother got very suspicious. Who is this strange bird you've been hanging out with? I must have a look at his face. Invite him over for Sunday dinner. Owl was terrified. Dinner was in the middle of the day back in those days, so he made excuses. I can't come over. My brother-in-law's moving again. I got to help him move. Well, I asked him for next Sunday, said Mother. I can't come next Sunday either. Grandpa's going to be there. He's bringing a special dish to eat, and Grandpa's got an even more special dish. Grandpa's been hanging a snake in the tree there for 2 weeks, and it's all soft and smelly and rotten. It's going to be delicious. I can't miss a meal. I don't believe a word of this, said her mother. I just think he doesn't give a hoot. Thanks for your indulgence. Anything to get through the story. So the mother came up with a plan. Now, mothers are good at protecting their daughters and planning as well they should be, we'll have a 24-hour party. We'll party for 24 hours, said Mother. Everybody will want to come to that. We'll start partying Saturday at noon. We'll party all Saturday afternoon. We'll dance and party. We'll dance all night. We'll dance all morning on Sunday till noon. And then we'll all stop and go to church. Everybody will want to come to that party. Al was really terrified now. If he went to the party, they would see his face. The party was going to be all day long. If he didn't go to the party, they'd think he was antisocial and stuck up because everybody would be there. He didn't know what to do. So he asked his only other friend, Rooster. Now, Rooster had never seen Al's face. But Rooster, you know, he would sit on the fence and wait for the sky to light. And when the sun broke the horizon, Rooster would wake up the village. But he did. That was his life. And one night he was sitting there waiting for the sun to come up, and he heard a rustling above him in the tree. It wasn't Owl's wings. You know, owls fly on silent wings. But when Owl landed, it rustled the leaves, and he looked up, Rooster did, and there was kind of a silhouette against the lightning sky. And they began to talk back and forth, and they became friends. Now, Rooster was not like an owl at all. He was not like Owl. He was proud of the way he looked. Rooster, you know, he would kind of puff out his chest when he walked. He had that bright red comb on top of his head. His feathers were iridescent, had those beautiful arching tail feathers. And he walked like he knew it. You might say that Rooster was cocky. Rooster listened to Owl's conundrum, his problem. Rooster said, "You need a plan, man. Understand? Man. Gotta get a plan, man, and stick with the man. Or the plan. Understand? Man." So here's the plan. Man. I'll get there at 12 noon. I'll tell the girl that you're taking a nap, that you work nights and you're feeling kind of puny, and you're going to rest up and you'll be there at supper time. I'll get everybody dancing. And then you wait till the sun goes down. And then you put on that Panama hat, that straw Panama hat, and you wear it kind of over your face. When you get to the party, it'll be dark. There'll just be lanterns and torches and candles. No one will get a good look at you. You can dance with the girl all night. And then listen, I'm Rooster. Every day I announce the sun. You listen for my It means the sun's coming up. And you fly out of there before anybody sees your face by the light of day. Oh man, Rooster, you are a good friend. That's a great plan. Thanks a lot, Rooster. Well, true to his plan, Rooster was there at noon sharp on Saturday. The girl looked at him and said, "Where's Owl? Where's my beloved Owl? Isn't he coming? I thought he was coming with you. Aren't you his friend? Isn't Owl going to come to my party?" "Take it easy, said Rooster. "He'll be here. He's still a little bit puny. You know, he works nights and he's got to rest up. He'll be here at supper time, he promised." "Are you sure?" Yes, he promised. "He'll be here at supper time. You can just relax." "Okay," said the girl. "Meanwhile," said Rooster, "while we're waiting, you want to dance with me?" "Well, okay," said the girl. Rooster was one smooth dancer. He took Rod on the dance floor. He could do all the dances. He could do the electric slide, the boot scoot and boogie. He could do the Charleston, the western swing, the eastern swing, northern and southern swing. He could do the shuffle off the buffalo. He could do the funky chicken. The girl, well, you know, she kept looking over Rooster's shoulder, looking for Owl, and she couldn't find him anywhere. He hadn't arrived yet. Now the dance floor was filled. It was starting to break her heart. Maybe he wasn't coming up. Oh, thank goodness. There he was, standing in the doorway. It was all dark behind him. There was a torch on each side. His feathers were sparkling. He had a beautiful straw hat cocked over one eye. He looked good. She ran up to him, grabbed him by his two wing feathers, and pulled him out to the dance floor. And for the rest of the night, she danced every dance with Owl. She only wanted to dance with Owl, nobody else. Now, Owl was not a very good dancer. He only knew a couple dances. He could do the box waltz, which is very boring. He could do the elementary Texas two-step. Well, actually, he could only do a step and a half. He had to make up the other half step. He could do the wounded armadillo, which you don't even want to see that. The girl didn't care. She just liked being close to him. She pulled him closer. They were doing that slow, romantic kind of dancing. That slow, romantic dancing at the cowboy bars, they call it belt buckle shining kind of dancing. Meanwhile, Rooster was out in the middle of the floor, and he was breakdancing. He was spinning on his comb, spinning on his beak, on his spurs. A circle of other animals and people were around him, clapping and hooting. Over in the corner, by candlelight, Owl and the girl were slow dancing. It was a perfect night. Everybody was having such a good time, including Rooster. And everybody was having such a good time that everybody, including Rooster, forgot about the time. Yeah. Rooster was looking down at his feet, doing some moves, and he saw a shaft of sunlight slowly moving its way across the floor. He looked out the window. There was the sun. It was too late. The girl's mother came running to the center of the dance floor where the girl and Owl were dancing, and she grabbed Owl's hat and tore it off his head. And there was his face for everyone to see by the light of day. And Owl, he had never felt so humiliated and so ashamed. The girl, she had never seen a face so fierce and handsome. But Owl began to run. Owl, where are you going? He began running toward the door. I gotta get out of here. Owl, please stay, what's the matter? He could not hear her, he could only hear the voice in his own head. I'm ugly, I gotta leave, I'm ugly. Through the doorway he went, the girl trying to catch up, but he was fast. Out over the porch, across the yard, the girl trying to catch up. Owl, please stay. Owl, what's the matter? I don't understand, Owl, I don't understand. Owl could not hear her, he only heard his own voice. I'm ugly. She stopped at the fence. He flew up over the fence, up over the tops of the trees, and across the red morning sun. And she never saw him again. And it about broke her heart, because she had been in love. But you don't die of a broken heart, usually. And time heals a broken heart, usually. And after a while, she began to go dancing with Rooster, because he was a good dancer. He was kind. No, those tail feathers. And after a while, they fell in love. And they got married. They moved into a place, and they had some kids. This part really gets the attention of the junior high students. Now, you might be wondering what kind of children a girl and a rooster would have. Well, that's very easy. A girl and a rooster would have baby chicks. But some evenings, she couldn't sleep. And she would get up and leave the house she shared with her husband and her children. And she would go walking in the woods as she was wont to do. And some nights, she would walk a silver-lit path to her mother's house. And she would sit on that same bench on the back porch, that same place where she had spent all those nights talking to Owl. And some nights she would sit there quietly and remember. And some nights she would sit there quietly and listen to the night sounds. And some nights she would lean forward, look out over that railing. She would say, Owl!